We did how many rounds? We probably did at least like 8 straight.
Yeah, but you in the bag for about 8 too?
Yeah.
That's good. You're not in bad shape.
Yeah. Just got fill up my
I think Gervonta had a bad night. I look for a tough fight in the next fight, but I still see Gervonta winning. I think Gervonta will win in a little easier this time. But Roach is a heck of a fighter. He's going to give everybody a hard, anybody that fights is going to give a hard time. But I do think that Davis.
Tank Davis is back in training, and his camp has started throwing warnings to Roach. It's personal now. The first meeting ended in a razor-thin majority draw. But what happened on March 31st is the past, and Tank is saying things are personal now. Roach wasn't supposed to come that close. Davis wasn't supposed to get that rattled. And yet here we are gearing up for a rematch that's less about belts and more about pride, redemption, and legacy.
Matches that you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, that's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta.
Veteran trainer Greg Hackett, a respected voice in the boxing world, and one of the few who gave Roach a real shot in their first fight, has been vocal about what Davis needs to do differently. Speaking to Fight Hype, Hackett didn't mince words. Tank needs to calm down. Tank needs to work behind his jab more, and Tank needs to focus more on combination punching. He said, not trying to get the knockout all the time. Hackett's advice cuts through the noise. Davis has built a career off spectacular finishes, but that mindset may have cost him the first fight. Roach didn't go away, and Tank never quite adjusted in the rematch. Hackett wants to see the fundamentals. Poise, discipline, structure, not just the explosive Tank, but the thinking man's fighter.
The hardest puncher I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Oquendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard.
Hard, I ain't going to lie. He a hard head man. And that's exactly what Calvin Ford, Davis's longtime coach, has been drilling into him. Ford has also spoken about the 9th round knee, explaining that Tank's vision was compromised by hair grease leaking into his eye, leading to that uncharacteristic slip. Still, Ford isn't making excuses. He sees the rematch as a reset, a chance to remind the world who Tank Davis is. When everything clicks, he'll be ready. Ford told reporters this time, there's no distractions, no slip-ups, just war.
So the rematch should happen. I know Gervonta probably won it. We damn sure won it. So wait and see, man. Hopefully something come out soon, you know what I'm saying, so we get it going.
If the rematch was signed and sealed, what kind of Gervonta are you expecting to show up?
I think that we seen a great Gervonta that night. People just make excuses all they want. Name my gym no excuse. Gervonta did some great things in the ring. He just was there with another great fight. I don't want to hit that about no out.
Kenny Ellis, Davis's assistant coach, doubled down on that sentiment, defending his fighter against critics who claimed he should have lost. He didn't break the rules. He fought his fight, and he'll fight it better next time. Ellis said inside the camp the mood is locked and focused, intense, and borderline militant. No distractions, no Hollywood appearances, no side house, just Tank, his team, and the mission to erase March 31st.
You don't have enough experience. You really should have waited and took your time before you came to me, and that's what Gervonta Davis told him. And he was right. He was absolutely positively right. And so now here we are, him fighting this cat Roach, and I'm like, isn't this dude a light, like junior lightweight?
Super featherweight, moving up to lightweight. Yeah.
No, there's no, see,
But on the other side of this collision is a man with a chip on his shoulder the size of the Barclays Center. Lamont Roach Jr. has unfinished business. Quiet and calculated. Roach isn't one to talk trash, but his camp has started letting their confidence show his younger brother. Jordan Roach recently gave an interview that turned heads. What goes differently? My brother wins. What stays the same? He puts his hands on him. Jordan declared, and the fire didn't stop there. Asked if they'd rather fight somewhere else after the controversial New York result, Jordan dismissed the idea entirely. New York was cool. Don't matter, we still going to get hands put on him. He said, that's not just confidence, it's a declaration of you.
With the new face of boxing, so I'm very excited.
So obviously you see little big bro coming out with the upset. A lot of people are going to pick Tank going into that fight, but how do you see that playing out?
I see my brother walking out victorious. So there's no doubt, not because it's my brother, but because
Roach himself has remained relatively quiet, choosing instead to stay in the gym and let his work speak. Sources close to his camp say he's ramped up his conditioning and is working heavily on timing and angles. The strategy is simple: get in, work the body, and disrupt Tank's rhythm. Before he can get into knockout mode, according to Hackett, Roach has to be first. He can't sit back and feel things out. He has to go to that body early, and often, Hackett explained, music. This fight isn't just about adjustments, it's about mindset after the draw. Questions have emerged about Davis's mental state. Hall of Famer Timothy Bradley went so far as to suggest that Davis might need therapy, not because he's broken, but because emotional clarity could sharpen his edge. Sometimes the greatest athletes need someone to talk to clear their mind, Bradley said. Whether that's true or not, what's undeniable is that Tank is under pressure he's never faced before. He's expected to dominate, but Roach already proved he can hang. The blueprint is there, and Roach is determined to run it back even cleaner. Davis, for his part, is talking less and grinding more. Sources close to the Mayweather Boxing Club have said he's sparring with heavier, more aggressive partners than usual. He's running early in the Vegas heat, hitting double sessions, and turning down media appearances to focus the team around him. Knows what's at stake. A win silences the doubters and keeps the Tank engine rolling. A loss that changes everything from his pound-for-pound status to the way promoters look at his drawing power.
When you lock up, is he strong? Too small. Tell that man too small, bro. Y'all in the same weight class.
That's a new weight class for me. A new weight class for me.
That's what I'm saying. That night y'all was in the same weight class. And you still feel like you too small?
He was too small.
Dang.
You just call him a spade. No disrespect, no nothing. He was just too small. I've been in there with him.
Meanwhile, Roach is training like a man possessed. His strength coach posted footage of him hitting the bag with a fury that almost looked personal. And maybe it is. He wasn't supposed to get this far. He wasn't supposed to make Tank look human, but he did, and now he's got another shot to finish what he started. As the date nears, tickets are moving fast, and Las Vegas is already bracing for an all-out war. This won't be a chess match. This won't be a dance. It'll be a fight in every raw, emotional sense of the word. No more feeling out, no more waiting for scorecards. Both fighters are walking in with something to prove, and neither plans to leave without their hand raised.
It so happened to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we take it?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
Those closest to Lamont Roach always knew what the public didn't. Gervonta Tank Davis was walking into deeper waters than he realized. March 1st was no fluke. It was a warning for the fans and analysts who dismissed Roach as a tune-up. That draw flipped the script, but inside gyms. Among fighters who've sparred with Roach or studied his rhythm closely, there had long been whispers that Tank might finally have found the opponent who wasn't buying into the myth that the muscle-packed Baltimore bruiser could be touched, and Lamont Roach touched him plenty. Now, as August 16th approaches, those whispers have become loud predictions, and some of the loudest voices belong to people whose plans were blown up by the unexpected outcome of that first fight. Jake Paul didn't take the draw lightly. While many boxing purists roll their eyes at the influencer-turned-fighter, Paul had serious intentions for 2025. Plans were quietly underway for a high-profile exhibition against Gervonta Davis, something that would have made headlines, broken streaming records, and injected absurd spectacle into a sport that sometimes lives off the outrageous.
Lamont Roach for Tank Davis, right? And if I'm being real here, right? The biggest fight for Tank Davis right now is the rematch. And the reason why I say it's the rematch is because everybody said that Tank lost the fight. The majority of fans said that Tank lost that fight because of the knee. So that's why I say.
But that fantasy matchup required a clean Tank win over Roach. That didn't happen, and Jake didn't hide his frustration when he spoke to Ariel Helvani on May 19th. I never really thought Tank was that good, Paul said bluntly. It would just take the right fighter to pick him. Apart to be honest, someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power, so I always saw so many holes in his game. Whether Paul truly believes that or is simply leaning into promotional theater to build heat for a future clash, his words struck a nerve. They echoed a new skepticism taking hold in boxing circles. That Tank's aura of invincibility is cracking. Paul added that Roach exposed Davis in ways that can't easily be patched up in a few months, and for once the YouTuber isn't standing alone on this hill, because there's another voice, a sharper, quieter, more respected one, that's also raising doubts. Shocker Stevenson.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah. I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching,
in an interview with The Ring, Stevenson made it clear he's not confident Davis will come out clean from the rematch, and he has good reason. He shared rounds with Roach. He knows the depth of his game, the way he counters and rolls, the way he digs to the body, the way he doesn't rattle under pressure, and Stevenson remembers clearly how close Roach came to handing Davis his first official loss. When it's a rematch, I don't look at it like everybody else. Stevenson explained, I know what Tank is dealing with, so Tank is going to have to be on 100% of his best and beyond, because he can't just be his best. He's got to be better than whatever he was the last time.
Man, he got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight, though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
That's a dangerous place to be fighting, not just to win, but to redeem yourself, especially when the stakes aren't just a title or a purse. For Stevenson, there's something larger at risk. The fight that could define his era might evaporate if Roach finishes what he started. Stevenson openly worried that a Roach win would change the shape of the lightweight division, and not in a way that favors drama. A Stevenson versus Davis clash loses heat if Davis isn't undefeated. The branding power, the tension, the stakes, it all dips. Boxing history is full of fights that came too late or not at all because one domino fell out of place. Shocker doesn't want that to happen. I know that me and Tank is the big fight, he said, so it worries me in the fact that I don't get my opportunity to fight him as an undefeated fighter with Lamont Roach in front of him.
What does the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to.
That's a dangerous place to be fighting, not just to win, but to redeem yourself, especially when the stakes aren't just a title or a purse. For Stevenson, there's something larger at risk. The fight that could define his era might evaporate if Roach finishes what he started. Stevenson openly worried that a Roach win would change the shape of the lightweight division, and not in a way that favors drama. A Stevenson versus Davis clash loses heat if Davis isn't undefeated. The branding power, the tension, the stakes, it all dips. Boxing history is full of fights that came too late or not at all because one domino fell out of place. Shocker doesn't want that to happen. I know that me and Tank is the big fight, he said, so it worries me in the fact that I don't get my opportunity to fight him as an undefeated fighter with Lamont Roach in front of him.
Now, he's trying to please the fans possibly and take this fight versus Lamont Roach in a rematch. Is it even worth it to please the fans who are going to love you 1 minute, hate you the next? They're going to love him this minute, they're going to hate him the next minute. Oh, I don't like it. He can fight Lamont Roach, and they're going to say, well, he's supposed to knock Lamont out if he does win. Or if he loses to Lamont, they're going to say, oh, we knew Lamont was better. It's just always is a never-ending story in regards to boxing. You can't just please the people.
He's right to worry. An upset on August 16th wouldn't just be a personal setback for Davis. It could be a historic detour for the whole 135-pound class. The lightweight crown has been scattered in recent years, with contenders dodging and circling each other. A clear hierarchy is overdue. Stevenson versus Davis would have been that moment, but Roach has kicked that door open. And if he walks through it in Vegas, he's taking more than Davis's belt. He's taking his future.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, And I have her. I definitely have her. I'm not gonna lie, I have her.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some?
And yet in the middle of all this pressure and uncertainty, Tank Davis remains as enigmatic as ever. He rarely breaks the fourth wall of boxing promotion. He doesn't offer fans much more than a sneer, a stare, or a few clipped lines. But every once in a while he lets the world peek behind the curtain. That happened recently on a Safe Place podcast. Asked about his dream fight, Davis didn't name Stevenson. He didn't even mention Roach. He went straight to the top of the sports mythology and named Floyd Mayweather Jr., the man who once molded him, promoted him, and then watched the partnership. Sour Me versus Floyd. Tank said plainly with,
think one coming up with
I
Tank
hope he
and
don't
Roach.
fight Lamont, actually. Like, I hope he don't get in the ring with him again. Because at the end of the day, if he lose, it's just gonna look bad on the fight with me. So it's gonna look like somebody else already did it.
You want Tank to knock you out, yo?
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I heard him say before. I heard him say like, "Yo, I want to fight Tank," and that's nice. But why do you want Tank to knock you out so bad? Like,
look. That sound good. That sound real good. But she's too little.
Too little.
I promise.
It was a surreal answer. Mayweather hasn't fought a real sanctioned opponent since 2017. He's done exhibition tours in Japan and Dubai, but nothing resembling a competitive return, and his fallout with Davis is well-documented. Financial disputes, ego clashes, and communication breakdowns turned what once seemed like a father-son bond into icy distance. So for Davis to call out Floyd, his former promoter and idol, was like tossing a match into a gasoline drum. Music. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr., widely regarded as one of the most electrifying and gifted fighters in the history of the sport, has shared his candid take on the upcoming rematch that has the entire lightweight division and fans across the world buzzing. The rematch in question is the much-anticipated clash between two of the most explosive talents in the game today, the relentless Roach and the ever-dangerous Tank. In an interview with Pro Boxing Fans, Jones didn't hold back on his thoughts about the matchup, offering praise and insight rooted in decades of experience inside the ring. Known for his speed, flair, and boxing IQ, Jones is not one to hand out compliments lightly. But when speaking about Roach, he was emphatic in his belief that the young fighter is capable of shocking the world yet again, just as he did in their first encounter.
In the eye, but two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye.